Hi there, Robin here, and in this episode, this being episode number 3, we're covering the sub options on the mixing board. So regardless what brand mixer you may have or you might think of getting, this feature is very important. When you get into larger mixers, 16 plus channels, you're going to start to see subgroups or buses, anything that's really allowing you to get some strong detail out of how you can control your mixer. In this video, I'm going to explain how they work and how the whole mixer divides in two when it comes to this particular feature. So to start this lesson, we're going to talk about first the microphone I have right here, just off camera, and the input right here, which is the XLR. That's all connected down on the channel 1. In the next videos, we're going to cover what's going on up here, but for now, let's just say I'm setting this up right down the middle. The only knobs I've turned up is the fact that I have an aux. That's my stage monitor plugged in up here, controlled by this knob. And I have my gain control set at 75 so I can stand a comfortable distance away from my dynamic microphone. I've done that because I want to keep myself at unity so I know exactly what it sounds like when it gets to the audio interface built into the Mackie mixer. Thus connected off the back to that mixer. Now to understand what they're talking about when they say subgroups, it's very important to understand that this feature right here, notice that the pan knob is grouped in with all of these knobs here. So all the pan knobs or balance knobs, depending if it's just paired off channels, are part of this. They're not part of this. These are all your input controls. Now we're starting to make choices on what we're going to do with all this information. So everything we've got going on in the first channel here, when it gets to the pan, we're now starting to make choices on how we want to assign that particular channel. The word sub in subgroups makes reference to a very important part. This pan knob has a left and a right. So if I do this, if I go to the left, I'm only going to get the left channel. If I do this, I'm only going to get the right channel. That's very important to note because now let's follow these 3 buttons right beside the actual slider. The very bottom one says main LR, main left and right. That refers to the main here. And the left and right signal that's going to come out of the main on this slider here. That's what we're currently talking on right now. To make this mixer work, I have to connect all the dots. So over here, I have to make a choice. I cannot run this mixer without having one of these 3 buttons pushed. So I've made a choice to have it on the main right now. And that's coming all the way here, passing all the sub channels and going straight to the main. This slider now is just as responsible for the sound, just by sliding it up and down, as this slider here is responsible for the sound for this particular channel. This is really important. Just because this says left and right, blow your mind, it doesn't have to be left or right. I can invert that if I want to. I can have that be right and left. But that's part of what's going to go on here. So first, let's finish off with how we get to that part. So down here, once again, these 3 buttons. The first one says sub 1, 2, sub 3, 4, main LR. The left side is the actual reference to 1. The right side is reference to 2 on the first sub. Same thing happens with the sub 3, 4. The left side is the odd numbers. The right side is the even numbers. So if I went and I had sub 3, 4, the left side would refer to 3 and the right side would refer to 4. That's very important because that allows me to make some choices when I move down the line. As soon as I make a choice to use one of the sub channels, it means I want to group up these microphones or line inputs. I want to make a certain number of channels, be it on a 32 channel mixer or any, part of a single package. And why would I want to do that? So this way, let's say I had a drummer and I wanted to get that drummer set up 15-20 minutes before the rest of the band showed up or before the lead singer. Or maybe the lead singer came out early, did some rehearsal work, did some practice. I set them up. I now have to set up the rest of the band as well. When you use a mixer that has sub channels on it or subgroups on it, I can set up 3 different groups of people at different times and then just before the performance, balance them all out. This is how you get that done. You got to understand that left and right on the input channels has no reference to left and right on the output channels. We have to make those choices. So here right now, I'm running on the main. The main's giving me 2 meters because, well, that's what I've decided. I've left the pan right in the middle. To get this mixer to run on either sub 1 or 2, I need to push down on that button right there. Now I've made a connection to this here. Remember, on this mixer, just like most of them, when you look at the pan feature, because I've chosen the 1 and 2 here, I've now decided that my left is going to be 1, my right is going to be 2. That's a stereo, that's a separated signal. If I want to carry that over onto this side where the subs are, I can easily make a straightforward connection to the speaker or to the main out. I can go left on 1, right on 2. Now I've made that choice. That's going to be right up here. So now you're getting a little bit different of a sound because I'm running both of them at the same time. But I can come over here now. Because I've brought these up, I can take this off. Now my audio is still there, but I'm running on these 2 channels right here. So I can bring them down, I can bring them up. I'm controlling them from this position right here. I could have had a whole bunch of them on sub 1 and 2, made a whole bunch of adjustments, got everybody all set up. All I need to do to adjust these 3, maybe it's 4, let's give it an extra channel. These 4 are now run by this right here. And that's how we get a connection to the sub. So all we've done is put this in the middle of the whole thing. Again, if I turn the main left and right on here and turn the sub off, these are no longer part of the equation. These don't have any effect on my sound. My sound is going straight here. Turn the sub 1 and 2 back on, turn the main off. Now this controls how loud this particular channel is here. So I've now added a 3rd line into the whole mix. I can control the level from here, here, or the main level over here. Now this is how you can actually move somebody who you wanted on the left side, which is over here. So now I'm only on the left side, on to the right side. Remember we said the left side was channel 1, the right side was channel 2. So if we come over here to sub 1, so sub 1 is over here, that's where I'm getting my left. I can easily just push that right button instead, take that left off. Now I'm only coming out of the right channel, even though I'm on the left side here. There you go. There's a moment, eh? That's how much control you have over the system. I only need to have that one sub 1, make a choice, left or right. There you go. I also, even though it's on the left side, by pushing both left and right, because remember, it's just me here. I'm only using one microphone. I'm not doing anything. So I can run this as a mono channel, even though it's on the left side. I can bring that down here, no worries. Have it come out both ends because I took that sub 1, chose left and right. And that's how you get this microphone without moving this pan to get out of both actual units. I could have done the same thing on the right. So let's take advantage of the sub 3 and the sub 4. And we're going to do that with the music that we have right here. So we've got some music playing on the tablet right now, and we're going to want to play that through here. So if I have no buttons pushed, I get nothing. Even if I push up sub 3, sub 4, nothing, because I still haven't pushed my options down here. So we'll bring this all back down. We'll turn sub 3 and 4 on both channels. And remember, I'm going to want to designate this is music playing. It is in stereo. I'm going to want to put it on the left side and the right side so I can maintain that stereo signal. Next, I'm going to want to come up here and designate my sub 3 because that's what I'm choosing. Sub 3 on this side as my left and right side on sub 4. So at this point, I can bring up the sub levels, bring up the music. And now we actually have something playing. So at this point, I can adjust. I need to adjust my microphone versus my music. I can do that from here just by adjusting this back and forth a little bit. And there you go. What if I wanted to take this left and right that I've already set up and reversed it? Go, I don't want it to be left and right. I can do right and left and flip the actual sound around. And if I wanted to actually play out of all 4 channels, basically I don't want to have anything but a mono sound for the whole space. Mixed stereo, we'll call it. I can engage everything. So all 4 of them. So this subcategory is going to play out of both speakers, and this subcategory is going to play out of both speakers, even though I did this here. So we'll back off a little bit here. Now understand, that was one way to set it up. I could have easily have just left both of these panned in the center and it would automatically play evenly into both channels. So that would have happened regardless. But if you want to get specific on your channels and have your channels do something very unique, or you want to have that true stereo sound, you are going to have to make a choice of a channel becoming left and the next channel becoming right. Now we have a true stereo separation. We've made a left and right channel right here. And we've put it into the subgroup 3 and 4 on both of them, allowing us to control it over here. On top of all of that, we've designated the sub 3 as the left and the sub 4 as the right. And that is how we get sub channels to work. So a quick recap: the pan button acts as our sub 1 and 2 or our sub 3 and 4. Left being odd, right being even. So left, 1, 3 on this side. On the right side, we get the right, the 2, and the 4. And because we have actual independent sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, sub 4 controls here with buttons for left, right options, I can allow myself to make multiple. I'm not just left to just having 2 groups because I'm running them in pairs. I could have had one microphone here spun to the left, taking that sub 1, chose it to be out of both microphones. If I had a choir and they had 4 microphones, I could have put them all on the right side, and I could have grouped them all into actual sub number 2 by pressing the sub 2, and I could have turned them both on the left and right. So even though I only have the right selected here, because I chose left and right, their sound is going to come out of both microphones. And that allows me to do the choir separate from the lead singer here, and so on and so forth. I mean, I just keep moving down the line that way. This gives me 4 separate groups of people that can be controlled here, not including whoever I decide to set up on the main, or whatever group of people I decide to set up on the main. Very, very nice system to understand. Once you get comfortable with it, it's pretty easy, and your imagination is your only limitation when it comes to that. So there are other knobs and buttons here we're going to talk about, but not in this video. This video is specifically for subcategories to help get you into that and get it as detailed as possible. So I hope this part of the video helped you out, and maybe we'll see you on the next lesson. So and that's it for sub channels on this particular class. The next episode, hopefully we're going to be running through the EQs and through the aux options, how that works for you. So right now, today, we're going to leave it at that. All the subs for you to look at over again if you need to, but hopefully that really helps you understand. Just remember, input does not equate to output unless you make the connection. And then once you make the connection, you have to make choices. Things don't have to be the way they are. That's what the subgroups allow you to do. I'd like to say thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye for now.